Make this 3-ingredient brunch dish for only a few pounds.
A Rosti is traditionally a Swiss dish. A kilo of potatoes is about £1, a pack of butter, you know, the best part of half an onion, which more often than not everyone has in the back of the cupboard, just knocking around. We are going to grate our potatoes. Whoa! So this is a grating attachment on our food processor. So I've got my grated potato, I've got approximately roughly about a kilo here. I would actually use a box grater for this normally, but we just don't have one. Peel potatoes, grate them into a container, exactly the same as this, and the end product will be nigh on the same anyway, because the outside's going to caramelise once we do the Rosti anyway, and you won't even be able to see this bit. So these potatoes I've got using here are Agria potatoes. Now this recipe can literally work with any potato. We're going to squeeze out all the water from the potato. So you just want to take an old napkin or dishcloth or something like that, and you're going to put your potato in, fold it over, squeeze like so. I'm going to get rid of all this starchy water out of the potato. This is going to give our product a much drier, crispier finish. When the potatoes are caramelizing in the pan, you're going to have deep color rather than like a wet, soggy mess. So you're going to keep squeezing. It's a good little workout for you. So another way you can do this at home is actually a bit easier, is if you do it on the side of a sink, like so, you can then just push down with your body weight and get out a nice bit, like so. The drier your potatoes here, the better result you get. At a hotel I used to work at in the Cotswolds, kitchen porter. So he used to have to grate all the potatoes and then squeeze them all out, but he was so strong, he used to be able to squeeze out so much of the water, and they were always better when he squeezed out the potatoes. So the more water you can get out, the better. Because you can imagine all that water's come out of the potato we're going to use for one of these things. You can see it's probably about best part of half a pint of water there. If we can remove that, it's only going to make the product crispier and more intense. We've got some clarified butter. We're going to have a little bit of oil, and I've got a white onion. Very thinly sliced my onion. Potato Rösti is a great versatile tool. You can change the flavors so easy. You can spice it up, add other ingredients. You can go in with white onion, you can go in with shallots, anything. Just going to season these bad boys up nicely. Just a little bit of base seasoning. Potato is swallows salt. Like genuinely, like you really want to almost over season your potatoes. Going to give that a good mix together, just nice and dry. So I'm going to go in with butter, clarified butter. Circle back to one of our other videos. Chef Murray, my best friend, he showed us how to make clarified butter. So all you've got to do is literally put a block of butter in a bowl, in a microwave, ping it on for like a minute, and then just leave it and let the milk solids will sink to the bottom. Now, milk solids obviously have a lovely flavour, but they are not great for caramelising. They will burn over time. So if I was to use just whole butter in here, before the potatoes had cooked and gone as crispy as I would have liked, the milk solids would have burnt slightly and you'll get these little black specks. It's not going to ruin the dish, but we're just adding levels of finesse and just showing you how you can elevate your home cookery. So next we're going to go in, we're going to do 2 halves of the potato, putting the onion in the middle. I've gone for about ½ centimetre of clarified butter in the bottom, and now I'm just going to go in with my potato. So what I really want to do is focus on the edges, because the middle will always fill up. So I'm really going to focus on padding out the outside, and then as it cooks we're going to neaten it up by using a spatula to sort of round up the edges. I'm going to go in with my onion. Just going to break them up nicely. I'm going to put my onions in the centre. Not a crazy amount, to be honest. In hindsight, 1 onion is probably enough. Now again, the reason I'm doing this on the inside is because the onions will steam cooked and be really nice and soft and sweet. But if I was to mix the onions through the potato, and the onion will caramelise at a different rate to that of the potato. You can now season the middle of again with some pepper, go quite heavy, and another little sprinkling of salt. Just go with a little bit more of butter in the middle just to help conduct the heat through the onion. Now I'm just going to pad out the top with more potato. So we're almost sort of like rounding it off. There you have it. That's almost my finished round. It looks a little bit messy at the moment. Bada bing, bada boom. Forget about it. Most important thing when you're cooking at home, clean as you go. We call this a fish slice. You buy them online easily from like Amazon, but they're really handy for this. So what I'm going to do now is this has been cooking for about 3 or 4 minutes. So I'm going to go with the tip, and we're just going to push and round the potato off. So as you can see, just tucking it round like that and just tapping it down. We want it to be nice and compact. So you'll have a little bit of like steamed potato on the inside, and then you have a really crispy out exterior. Now it's essential, it may look like you're putting a lot of fat into it. You need the fat bubbling up around the sides, which is going to give you the colour. Otherwise, as you can imagine, you have a really brown bottom and a really brown top, but it'd be white on the side. So At this point, I'm going to add a touch more butter around the sides. You just want to be able to see the fat bubbling up the side like that. And you can almost feel the sides getting crispier and crispier as you cook. So that's been on for about 4 minutes now. So in my opinion, perfect, easy, go-to, simple brunch dish. It's very impressive. So I've been cooking for about 8 to 10 minutes now. Now you've got to be really careful when you're flipping it because obviously you've got a lot of hot butter around. Take the pan off. Now I'm just going to very slowly just turn it over and then just lower it back into the pan, like so. Basically retuck that element in and just push it back down to straighten it out. So in an ideal world I would have got that in a little bit straighter, but you know, such is life. Turn my Rosti and I'm going to pop it back onto the stove. Low heat, again. If you're doing this on a gas stove at home, you're probably the lowest knob you can find. I'm just going to leave that ticking away. Probably could have gone a little bit less potato, so this one I've actually ended up cooking for about 45 minutes. Right, so just going to flip it again. Just going to reheat that second side a little bit before we serve it. Beautiful. So as you can see, the sides are now nice and crispy. So here we go. So just crisp up that second side. So just going to take it out onto a rack, just so the bottom doesn't go soggy. You can do these in a smaller pan, you could do them thinner if you like it. Personally, I think it looks a bit more like a showstopper when you do the whole nice big thing. And you can either feed 2 very hungry people or 3 or 4 not so hungry. While my potatoes are resting, I'm just going to crack my eggs into the same pan. Just going to cook 2 nice fried eggs. It wouldn't be brunch without a couple of eggs. So effectively, this is from my best friend Chef Murray's video. This is a butter poached egg, effectively. So we're going to take our beautiful Rosti, pop it onto our plate. We've got our eggs. So you can see you've got the lovely onions through the middle. The outside is super crispy, because we've pushed out all that water, the inside is almost like a cake-like. You've got that starchy potato flavour. It's deeper than a fried hash brown. It's only fried for like a minute, whereas you've got that slow caramelisation over the 30-40 minutes. You get a really intense crust.